Hey, hey, can you hear me? Hey, Jessica, you're muted.
Hey.
Oh, hey. So it looks like it's just you and me, right?
All right.
So we got the paperwork to get an exception to do the Hilliards as a VA.
Right.
And at
I've
the
seen
same
that.
time, they're going to work with the credit bureau, but that may take 30 days.
Mm-hmm. So you trying to send in a rescore didn't work?
They won't rescore it.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So we need to we'll just after you get it set up in the system, then I'll go in and I'll probably end up waiving the fees because it's such a big loan.
Okay, and you want me to use the same credit report?
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing we got right now.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Good
good morning.
Good morning.
So Lauren, they're restructuring that whole marketing department. Basically, the obstructionist is Kim Laughlin.
Yeah.
Nobody really likes her. She they're trying to move her out because they just hired this new woman that's going to be head of the whole department. But I mean, this is all like happening next week.
Right.
So they told me just to hang on.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
Joyce. Hey. So I hope we have a bigger turnout.
You get my text, Stephen?
You what?
Did you get my text? To check your flower pot?
Oh, happy birthday. No, I didn't check my flower pot. Okay, I will as soon as we're done with this call.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So Nidhi is in Colorado.
Oh, fun.
just got back from Denver and it was freezing. I hope she's having better weather than I had.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of disappointed if nobody shows up because I had several people confirm. Maybe I'll send out an email real quick. Oh. Hi, Michael.
Hey,
What city are you in?
I'm in Clearwater.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I do Spring Hill too, but Clearwater's where I'm mainly at.
Okay. We're gonna get going in 2 minutes.
So I've been really bad about doing the homework. I haven't really done much of it, but
Well, you can follow along and then catch up later.
okay, sounds good.
I'm thinking that it's Memorial Day weekend, so a lot of people are taking off today.
Mhm.
Oh, and somebody just texted me that they're at a graduation for their kids. Probably the 3rd grade. Joyce, did you have that growing up where you get like graduation ceremony about every 2 years?
Yeah, well, lower school, middle school, high school, it's like, yeah, every time you advance to the next school. We did not have kindergarten graduation though, which they have now, I know.
You know, my son's going into 1st grade and they didn't do a kindergarten graduation. He got one last year for pre-K, but which is cute because when they're that tiny and they wear these big little caps,
Yeah.
gowns, and oh, they're so cute.
Okay, so we're going to get started. So Jessica, so
Yes.
tell us about TBDs. So what is a TBD? Well, give it, since Michael doesn't know you, give us 60 seconds on who is Jessica.
Michael, I am Stephen's processor. I've worked with Stephen for 14 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I do everything, a little bit of everything.
Uh-huh.
it's true.
Yep.
Okay, Jessica, tell us about TBDs.
Okay, so on TBDs, you can send a TBD file to underwriting without sending out disclosures to a borrower. All you need to do is get the borrower's authorization signed, and then of course have the financials, just like you would need on a regular file that you have an address on. And then your processor can submit that and get credit approval.
Yeah, Michael, I'm sure your market there in Florida is just as hot, if not hotter than ours in Georgia. And it's really important today to have the loan fully approved. At least the agents are pushing for that to try and make their offers more competitive.
Right.
So Jessica, can you get a TBD on all the different programs or what?
Yeah, you can do TBDs on any first mortgage with Van Dyke. You can't do second mortgage TBDs because most second mortgage companies won't underwrite a TBD, but Van Dyke will.
Okay, cool. And let's see. I had some questions. So you said what we need from the borrower. You said we need their financials. They don't
Right.
need the e-sign. And let's see.
They just need to sign the borrower's authorization. You do not need to send out a whole package.
Okay. And what about the non-QM loans? Michael, you do any of those bank statement, whatever?
I'm trying to do one with New Res right now. So I've got, they're supposed to give me the income calc today. We actually had a guy who was TBD using tax returns, self-employed, and he decided, you know, he wanted more purchasing power. And I said, okay, let's try a bank statement loan and see what we can get. And from looking at, you know, we did the 12 months, from looking at all of his statements, you know, it looks like, you know, he should get around about 12,000 after they take away the 50% for, you know, expenses and all that. So, which is better compared to, like, I think it was like $4,000 he was getting off of his tax return. So that gave him, you know, that's going to give him definitely more purchasing power and everything. He was qualified really good, had a good credit score and everything. He just wanted more, you know, home basically.
Sure. So so New Res will do a TBD on a bank statement product.
Well, oh yeah, he's TBD. Yeah, we just
Okay,
didn't.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously the files aren't left. And so what happens when the contract finally comes in?
So once you get that contract, you as a loan officer need to update the file in Encompass based on the information on the contract. Of course, update loan amount, sales price, all that stuff. Make sure the loan works, run DU, LP. And then you need to let your processor know that it's ready, and she'll go in and click this TBD workflow ready for processing button. That way that'll kind of lock you out as the loan officer so she can do her job.
Okay. So then if we're locked out, what happens when we have to make changes? You know, stuff happens and they may change the, you know, add a credit for the repairs or, you know.
Well, there's some things that the processor can change. But if there's a loan program change or something significant like that, she can uncheck that button and allow you to make that change, and then check the button again, and you can't do anything else.
Okay.
Or you can also ask the underwriter to make that change. The underwriter has full access to do that as well.
It's like being in prison where they give you like 1 hour to go exercise and then you're locked back up, right? So, okay, no, that's good to know. That's good to know. And right now we're doing a lot of TBDs. You know, 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't do hardly any. But now they want that commitment from the underwriter. And you know, then the onus is on us because the agents are next going to ask you if they can waive the financing contingency. What do you feel about that, Lauren?
So I'm a little confused on what the financing contingency is because I get it
Okay.
confused with the appraisal contingency.
Okay,
And so what is the financing contingency specifically?
so all the contingencies in the contract are to protect the buyer's earnest money.
Right.
So the financing contingency says that, hey, if you don't get approved for your loan by such and such a date, usually, maybe 14, 15 days, they'll put a number in the contract.
Mm.
Then you have a right to get all your earnest money back, terminate the contract and get all your earnest money back. Okay. And if the lender sends us a letter saying that you couldn't get your loan, then that is a legitimate legal way to terminate the contract and get all your money back. So
in theory, being TBD approved would get rid of the need for that.
So, that's a discussion point because the thing is, stuff can happen. So I think that you have to be honest with the agent and the borrower and say, okay, so this is like a snapshot of everything today. Your loan is good as gold. But, just be aware things can happen. And if anything happens majorly to your financial situation, like if they lose their job or this or that, we are not at a point where we have funded that loan. So just be aware that there still is a small risk, but I would say that we have lessened that risk tremendously by having the underwriter take a look at the file and give us conditional loan approval. So I guess it falls under the, we feel pretty sure, but nothing's absolute.
One of those things that you can give the client as much information as possible and then tell them that ultimately that decision is up to them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Most likely, if they want to get their offer accepted, they're going to have to waive that contingency. They risk their earnest money. I mean, you're not going to ruin their life, or we're not going to do anything, but their life is not going to be ruined if they something happens, but certainly they don't want to lose their earnest money. So the appraisal contingency is kind of the same idea. They put a number of days for us to get the appraisal. And then the borrower has an opportunity at that point, if the appraisal comes in below the sales price, to legally terminate the contract and get all their earnest money back. Of course, there's several other remedies. They can negotiate the price with the seller. They can simply pay the difference out of pocket. Or if they're putting a larger down payment, then it just simply changes the LTV and they go on with their day. So there are other remedies, but that is another, I guess, consumer benefit and safety valve for the buyer. Of course, the sellers don't like any of that. They want the contracts without any contingency because they want to know that once they sign on the dotted line, that they have a done deal and they can go on with their life, whatever it is, moving, buying a new place, whatever. So right now in a seller's market, the sellers are making all the rules. So I have a customer coming in from Washington State, and they're trying to sell a home there, and their market's good, just like ours, and then buy a new home in Atlanta. And they're worried about timing it because it's a VA deal. They need to get their eligibility back and close before they close on the new home. They also need the equity. So I said, listen, you have got to negotiate all the flexibility on your sale, because on the purchase, you're not going to get any flexibility. So they've got to when they sell the home, they can dictate, hey, we have the option to rent for an additional 30 days at, I don't know, $3,000 or maybe nothing, whatever they negotiate. But they'll negotiate a flexible closing date on their end so that they can come here, and when they find a home, they can close quickly or go with a date that the seller wants. So it's really tough when you are buying your first home and you you don't get to be the bully. You only get to be the, I guess, the kid that gets beat up on when you're buying the home. Anyway, what else we got? Jessica, anything else you want to talk about? Any kind of screw ups you see us loan officers make?
No, I did want to mention that Van Dyke does offer the lock and shop policy for TBD loans. We used one with Nitty, and I think it's a 90-day lock, and her borrower was able to find a home and close within that lock period. So they got a really good rate before everything, shot up.
Okay, that's a great idea. So let me ask you that on the 90 days, is it just identify the property, or they have to find it and close within 90 days?
That is a great question. Let's see. Once a property is found, the rate lock. It doesn't say, but I'll have to look into that. I'm pretty sure it has to be under contract and close within.
Probably so. So yeah, so it's for people that are really serious. The thing is, if they
Yes.
do a lock and shop, then that does let you know that they're serious about buying a home.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Good
that's a
question.
good tool.
Would there be any reason not to do the lock and shop? Like, cause I don't know if would there be any negative side effects to doing that? You know what I mean?
Well, you pay a little bit of a premium in the fact that you're doing a 90-day lock.
Right.
So really what you're doing is you're giving up probably 1/8% in rate for the insurance policy.
Yeah.
That rates are not going to shoot up. So, I mean, I think it's a good deal. Who knows what's going to happen with rates? I mean,
Yeah.
let's hope that they don't go up any higher, but that's what we said when gas was $4 a gallon, right? We said, let's
Yeah.
hope it doesn't go any higher. Who knows? So, all right. Anything that's a good point, Jessica. Anything else or any mistakes you see loan officers make we need to be wary of?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay, Jessica. Well, thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day. I'll
Thank
see you
you.
later this afternoon.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Okay, so there's just two of you, so I get to beat up on you pretty good. So okay, so building your audience. So Michael, how are you doing on social media? Did you get the little chart?
Yeah, I got it's my email. I haven't downloaded it or anything. I was looking at it. Social media, I'll post like for the Hometown Heroes thing. I posted something on the agents only page for that yesterday.
Hold on, though. I want to ask you some specific questions.
Okay.
So I sent out that Excel spreadsheet, which
Right.
I know that you said you probably didn't have time to fill that out.
Right.
But can you give me some just approximates? So like how many friends do you have on Facebook or how many followers?
Geez, not very many. Just like maybe around 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Okay. What about Instagram?
I don't have an Instagram.
Okay. What else you got? You're on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I don't really use that either. The main thing I only use is Facebook. Like I haven't set up my LinkedIn since I was at my last, job. So it's all set up for that. I haven't really touched it.
Okay. Will you at least update it so that people know you're at Van Dyke?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a big shocking news flash. So 100 is not enough.
Yeah.
So if you want to pull from that, and get your 1% to do business with you, then that's only one. So the goal is really, you're going to say this is just crazy. You need to get to 5,000 within the next 12 months.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You need to be active on 2 platforms.
Okay.
So you pick your poison. LinkedIn is more about, we're going to do deep dives into these. LinkedIn's more about business. Facebook's kind of just 100% social. Instagram, is a little bit more younger, more whimsical. You know, TikTok is younger and even more whimsical. And, you know, you just have to pick your poison. But definitely start with building out that Facebook. Surely you have more friends than that. What business did you do before you were at Van Dyke?
It's complicated. So I would go around to all the auto plants in the US, like at least on the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, and I would we would do projects for them with RO systems and stuff like that. So I'd you know, have to set all that up, and we would install it and work on projects for them and things like that. So it wasn't anything, you know, financial related other than like bidding out jobs and stuff.
Okay, so I'm not worried about financial related.
Yeah.
I'm worried about people that know you and like you. So, well, you have any friends over at that company?
Probably. I could probably look around at them to Facebook and everything.
You can do a search. What was the name of the company?
It was Abednego Environmental or Nowco.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you can search that and pull all those people, and then you'll recognize some of the names. And, you know, and then you'd be surprised, Michael. They'll say, hey, well, what are you up to, man? And you'll say, hey, I'm originating loans at Van Dyke. And then you never know. Maybe they know somebody or whatever. So it's great. There's also, there's a free little mini course. It's called 6-Minute Marketing. It's literally each lesson is 6 minutes. And it's, if you don't mind writing this down, Jordan Harbinger, HARBINGER, 6-minute networking.
Okay.
It's a free course. We use it, and it's got a lot of good ideas to build that social media. So, all right, Lauren. So, how many did you get? How many you got on Facebook?
For Facebook, I have 1,421.
Okay.
Instagram, I have 652.
Okay.
LinkedIn, I have 365.
Okay.
I don't have a YouTube. I mean, I have like a personal YouTube, but not like anything that I post to. And then TikTok, I have 409.
Look at that.
And
look at that.
I have a Twitter that I just use to stalk people. I don't actually use it.
Okay. So my
Not like a
Twitter-
weird stalky, just to be clear.
So my weird math gives me about 2,800 something.
Yes.
Okay, good. So you are just over halfway.
Mhm.
So keep going. And here's an easy cheat, and easy cheat for you, Michael, too. Contact your peeps on Facebook and tell them, hey, I just updated my LinkedIn. Do you mind connecting there? And then you'll get them there too. So that's an easy way. Most people are connected with you one place. I mean, it's so easy. It's like 2 clicks or whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what you're trying to do is build a community. And these are not just people that you want to sell to. These are just people that you know, like, and trust, that know, like, and trust you.
Mhm.
Okay. So we went over these videos. Lauren, did you listen to those videos? This is a guy, Reagan Hagstad. He closes 100 million a year. So anybody does 100 million, I kind of listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
So
He did, all his videos were on, you know, basically on growing your social media presence.
right. So just to hit the high points, number one is, you know, add your agents that you're prospecting and your past customers, if you have any, and even past customers from your previous jobs or whatnot too. You know, there's if they knew, like, and trusted you buying auto parts or whatever, they're gonna like you and trust you getting a mortgage. So we already talked about, you should probably concentrate on, you know, 2 platforms. So I would go with probably Facebook or Instagram and LinkedIn or TikTok if you want to go that way. So how and when to post? Literally like every day. I know you're gonna hate me. You need to post something every day. And does it have to be like some big life-changing, quote from the Bible or poem, or does it have to be that graduation day for your kids? And all that stuff is great. It doesn't have to be that big. Okay, it can just be a little something. It could just be all you're trying to do is either be informative or entertaining. Even something like, hey, listen, you guys, if you go to the Starbucks on 2nd Street, they don't have a line in the morning. Okay. I mean, that news right there is like valuable, and that's like nothing. Or yeah, I went to my doctor sent me to a place to give blood, and they were such a pain in the ass. I left. I went right around the corner to the Red Cross, and they were like, come on in, we'll take your blood. Now, that's a true story. And I was, they were nice. It got me going in 5 minutes. So anyway, just whatever. Or I just got tires, and the tire store down the street is having a sale. Or I just got so here's a lesson I said. So I put this big circle and then a little dot in the middle of the circle. And this is an important lesson, Michael. So the big, the little dot in the circle is all the people that are interested in the new Fannie Mae loan limits. And then the big circle are all the people that are interested in your girlfriend's new puppy. I mean, it's true, so the mistake that a lot of people make is they disseminate the information that you want people to know. I want people to know I do bank statement loans. I want people to know that we close in 20 days. Okay, but they may not want to know that. I mean, so we go with this game plan. It's called, Gary Vee. Do you know who Gary Vee is, Michael?
Mm.
So write that down. Gary, VEE.
Okay.
So he's like a mentor to me. I just came from VCon convention. Okay, but his overall social media marketing game plan is this: jab, 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 hook. Okay. You know boxing?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's give, 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 and then, hey, if you are looking for a mortgage, I do mortgages and I'd be happy to help you. But if you ask every time, then you become what we call an asshole.
Okay.
So, and what happens is people just unfriend you because they're like, yeah, every time I hear it from Michael, he's trying to sell me a house or something.
Yeah.
So, no, so you give them the fun stuff, 1, 2, 3. And then the 4th time, hey, guess what? If you happen to be self-employed, we have these new programs that can help you out. And that's okay, so yeah, so you get the idea. So so that guy talked about on the videos about segmenting your group, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I wouldn't just market just certain things to agents. If your post is not kind of now, it's not going to appeal to everybody, but if it's not information that everybody would be open to, then I mean, you're not putting out like technical industry jargon that only agents would know. That I just don't recommend that at all. So I don't see any need to segment them into different groups. But the other point he made is, so you want to tell a story. So here's the thing. So when there are guideline changes, or you have that program about the bank statement loans, you can say we have bank statement loans, self-employed borrowers, but that kind of is not very interesting to 99.9% of the population. But if you say, listen, I had a customer trying to buy, what's the subdivision there? Willow Springs. So I have a customer that was trying to buy a house in Willow Springs, but couldn't qualify because he was self-employed and he had a lot of business expenses. But we had a program that he was able to just take a percentage of his revenue, and he was able to qualify for a lot more. And he was able to get into Willow Springs because the guy is a crazy golfer. And if he wasn't in a golf community, I thought he was going to die. So that's his goal in life. And we helped him get into the golf community by using this program. So it's a little bit of a story, okay, albeit not a very good one, but you know, if you can relate to the people and how it helps them and so forth, you know, people love that. You know, people are very voyeuristic. They want to know the details about
Okay.
strangers. It's very it's an odd
So
thing.
just don't go in like spouting off like, hey, we can do this, make it a story, make it like something that you did, right? Something that about.
Yeah, and then it's a
person
little
that
bit
helped them out, or-
interesting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a little girl that wanted to get into Centennial High School, and you know, they had to do this and that, and we were able to help them. And then because, you know, she's in the band and they have a great band program and all that stuff is meaningless, but people love it. They eat it up, all that information.
Okay.
So let's take a look here. Okay, so I sent an article about Gary Vee's $1.80 strategy. Did you read that, Lauren?
Yes.
Okay, so this is very important, Michael, because you're going to say, well, you know, I'm not really active on social media right now. What can I do? Well, this is it. You need to make comments on those agents and so forth that you're prospecting. Make comments on their posts. So try and put a meaningful comment. You know, Gary's like, Gary's like search hashtags, top 10 hashtags, or where you could search like home buyer or this or that, and then go in and make comments to these people. It's got to be more than 4 words, and it's got to be somewhat, it can't just be, hey, that's interesting, or good job. You know, that's not going to get their attention. So you have to put something that's, you know, details a little, references some detail in their post. And unfortunately, Nidhi is not on this call, but I told her to do that. And she went to an agent's post that posts their listings, and she said something about, I really like the backyard. There's room back there to put a swing set, something like that. The agent actually called her and said, hey, you like that house? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I live, you know, down the street or whatever. And she's like, you're right. The backyard is beautiful. Hey, if you know somebody. And then they started chatting. So, you know, people are social, and, you know, real estate agents are social too. So there you go. Let's see. You know, so one of those videos was about with Josh Pitts, who is a guy who does a lot of videos. And the idea is just be yourself. Don't be a poser. I had a loan officer one time, and every post he's dressed up, he's in his fancy car. And I'm like, dude, you know, people just like you. And then he posted a post of him and his girlfriend that were at a concert. They were just laying on a blanket listening to a concert, and it got so much more reaction. And I'm like, see, it doesn't have any bling or anything. You're just in your blue jeans. And everybody was like, you know, how was the show and this and that? Because people are people, and they don't like that. They don't like bragging. They don't like that humble brag where you say, I just want to thank my staff for making me the #1 most greatest person in the world. You know, like you're being, you know, humble. So, yeah, they just like you. Video is the most powerful. I urge you to post videos. They will get much, much more engagement. If you hate it, I don't want you to do anything that you hate. You'll avoid it. If you're a good writer and you want to just post a photo of something and write about it, you know, that's your thing too. If you are good with, you can do interviews and post little interview snippets if you like your voice, you know, whatever it is. So you got to do either written word, voice, video, photo. You got to do something. Pick your poison, whatever you're good at and comfortable with, do that. Okay, and lastly, on that social media point, I want to ask you a question, Lauren. So we talk about, people always say, I want to post quality. I don't want to just post a bunch of junk. I want to post quality posts. So Lauren, so what is define what quality post means?
I don't know. In my opinion, a quality post is something that hits most of these, talking points that they talked about in the videos. It's personal and, brings value to somebody in something.
Yeah, okay. But if I was going to measure it, how do I decide whether this is a quality post or not?
I don't know, something that's actually engaging.
There it is.
Yeah.
The posts that get the most engagement are the quality posts. So it is a misused term, Michael. I know that you want to have your hair just right and that you want to have that, the circle light, like the glamour, where it makes their face real pretty. And you want to make sure that everybody in the house is super quiet. Keep the dog quiet. I'm making a video, and you want to make sure that and all that. And none of that matters. Okay. They just like you. And even if you're just came from the gym and you're sweaty or whatever, and you just want to do a snippet, people are like, yeah, that's like me coming from the gym. So they relate. And so quality has nothing to do with the editing and the lighting and the actual, quality of the filmmanship or whatever you call it, the filmography. It all has to do with how engaging it is. And Lauren, so you nailed that. The posts that get the most engagements are the quality posts. Now, how do you do that? There's that, people ask Gary all the time, how do you post a post that goes viral, right? So how do you win the lottery? So there's no answer for that. But how do you figure out what a quality post is?
I guess based by, maybe on the views and comments and stuff that you get, the feedback that you get from it.
So how do you know what's going to get a lot of feedback?
By listening to your audience.
Yeah, and just post. So in other things in life, we think about, quality over quantity, but it's the opposite. The quantity leads to the quality. So I can tell you right now, Michael, if you had 100 posts this month and Lauren only had 3, that you would have a much better idea about what a quality post is, because you'd have all this data and you go, yeah, if I'm in my office, it's not as good when I post. When I record outside, I get better engagement. When I include my dog, I get better engagement. When I talk about sports, I get better engagement. Whatever it is, then then you kind of start to get a feel, okay, this is kind of what people like, where if you Lauren, if you posted just 3 beautifully done videos and you get, I don't know, maybe one gets a little bit more traffic than the other, you don't really know, did you just get lucky or what was it about it, So yeah, so it's the quantity leads to the quality. And am I right or wrong, Lauren, that the video, whatever, think in your mind, the ones that got the most activity were not the ones you thought were going to get the most activity?
Oh, for sure. For sure. The ones where you get, interrupted by your dog or your children are the ones that people love, compared to the one that was, pristinely edited. So.
Right. I mean, I don't recommend this, but you see all the time, like some woman at a business conference and then like her husband walks by in his boxer shorts and it gets like 2,000 shares, 4 million views, I mean, that's an extreme example, but you know what it is, people like that silly stuff. Okay. So that's all that. We are moving right along. This will be very, very quick. We're going to do one role play each because there's only 2 of you. So, all right. So Lauren, you're going to pitch Michael and then Michael's going to pitch me. So Michael, here's our strategy. You ever call agents and try and set up appointments?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Most of the time they blow you off.
Yeah.
They're not very nice. Okay, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it a little bit different. So here's our strategy. Number one is when you call an agent, you're gonna already have some loose connection. It's not gonna be totally cold. It's gonna be, hey, I saw you at that realtor event. I saw a post of a house that's right down the street from where I live. Or a friend of mine used you as an agent and said you were terrific, that I should get in touch with you. I used Betty Jean in your office and she said you were a great agent. Something, some loose connection so that you get their attention, because by having that third party connection, I'm forced to give you at least a minute of my time. I can't just blow you off if you say that, you know, your next door neighbor, Betty Jean, said I should call you. Then if I blow you off, it's like I'm insulting her. So I got to at least give you a minute. Okay. So then you're going to kind of listen to my tone and see if I'm in a big hurry or whether I'm open and friendly. You know, so that's kind of what we talked about in the past. We work on your, you know, listening and your kind of emotional intelligence. Okay. You're going to already have in your mind one, maybe two, but one thing of value. What's one thing of value? You're going to tell me about a new program, a new business idea, something you heard on a podcast, and a strategy, a piece of information that you just want to tell me because you're interested in helping me. Every agent in their mind, with every word you say, is thinking, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? So you have to tell them two pieces of information. You have to say, hey, we now do bank statement loans. Okay, my answer is, so what? What's in it for me? Okay, but that's going to allow more of your buyers to qualify that are self-employed. Oh, so it's kind of the steak and the sizzle, or the what do they call it? The so the attribute and the benefit. And then if the agent's open, you continue the conversation and try and push for an appointment. You don't try and accomplish everything. You don't ask for business on that first call. And if you can push for face-to-face, that's fine, coffee appointment or whatnot. If they're too busy, you know, plan B is maybe set up a Zoom call. And if they just, you know, sometimes they just blow you off. I mean, you're not going to always win. So you can't get discouraged. Here's the thing. Here's your goal. When we hang up the phone, then I need to be left with that Michael is a nice guy who's trying to help. You know, even if I'm too busy and I don't need it, you're left with a positive thing in my mind. That's it. And maybe one day our paths will cross again. Maybe not. You're not always going to win. Okay.
So I'm the loan officer, you're the agent, and we're talking about how I can help you out, right? And get a meeting. Basically.
Yeah, you're going to use those strategies. And so what do you think? You want to go first, or you want Lauren to go first?
Doesn't matter. Either one.
Okay, go ahead. Ring, ring.
Hello. Look, I got somebody at the door. There you go. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, this is Michael Oakley with Van Dyke Mortgage. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Hey, so I was talking with Eric Johnson, and he said you guys are working with him right now, trying to find him a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, he said you guys seem like, you know, a bunch of properties and nothing's really kind of fitting in. He's worried about, you know, the interest rates going up and stuff.
I mean, this market is so tight right now. I mean, these houses are getting 5 to 10 offers. It is really tough out there.
Yeah. No, I was talking to him a bit about it, you know, and he said he's really wanting to buy, you know, he's just kind of worried about the interest rates going up and stuff. And, you know, I was thinking about that with him, you know, and we have a program that we could probably help with if you want to, you know, come to the office, sit down with me. We have plenty of stuff to talk about, you know, and some things that might help. Because we have like a lock and shop thing where he can lock in the rates today, and while you guys are shopping with him and trying to find him a place, and you know, then when he has something, we ain't got to worry about the rates going up, you know.
Well, I mean, you should probably just talk to him about that.
Yeah, that's true. But there's some other stuff, you know, that we have that might help you out, you know, when you have these buyers with all these, you know, rates going up and you know, low, you know, not very much inventory on the market, you know, things that we could do to help you out and kind of with other buyers, not just him.
Well, Michael, to tell you the truth, I work with a couple other lenders that
Mhm.
I pretty much, I mean, you seem like a nice guy, but to be honest, I pretty much have that covered.
Yeah, that's fine. That's completely fine. You know, just keep me in mind though, you know, because there are plenty of things that Van Dyke can do that a lot of other lenders can't do. And you know, it's there's plenty of stuff to talk about and things that, you know, that I can bring to the table and you can kind of take a look at. Maybe something might help you out. And, you know, just in case you know, those other lenders can't come through for you, because we've saved plenty of deals and everything with other agents. And, you know, I'd like to be able to help you out and get some stuff done with you.
Okay, well, just email me your information.
All right, sounds good. I can do that.
So, so you did some good things on that call, but then you fell short in a few areas.
Okay.
So you didn't give me like one good hook, and then you didn't answer that question right away of what's in it for me. So you were talking about the rates going up and so forth. What do I care?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if my borrower gets 5 or 5.5. Now
Right,
they
well,
care.
Yeah,
They
and
care.
and the reason I was kind of going that way is because we had a team meeting yesterday, and a lot of the agents were worried about that. Right, they're actually worried about the rates going up because
Why?
a lot of their borrowers are, you know, it's kicking them out of their deals because, you know, they're waiting so long to find something, and then when they do, you know, the rates are up, and they have to, you know, whenever they're writing the contracts up, they'll have to do that rate a little bit higher, because if they don't do the rate a little bit higher, then, you know, when it comes time to sign the contract, the rates have gone up higher than what they, you know, had in the first place, and then it kind of breaks the deal down.
Why? What do you mean
Why?
breaks the deal
Because
down?
it
What do you mean?
gets them out of qualification, like the DTI goes up too high. you know?
Bingo. So that's the magic word. So the thing that I should be concerned about, and I may not even know this,
Mhm.
is that with rates going up, they may not qualify.
Mhm.
Now, ding, 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 I don't get paid.
Right,
See, because I'm a real estate agent. All I'm looking for is getting a commission check.
right.
So when you said that the rates are going up, I'm thinking, what do I care?
Right.
Okay, but then you've got to spell it out and say, and you got to make sure your borrowers, your buyers still qualify for that house they just bought. And then I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I get
So don't just assume that they know that. Like, make sure that they
just spell it out. So now
Right.
I'm interested. Okay, well, what can we do? Because I got to make sure these people close.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that's the thing. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, we could have a you know, I don't know, stated income and goes to 95%, but they don't know what that means. But
Right.
then if you say this will help your borrowers that don't have enough money, then they're
Mhm.
like, oh, I got one of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you just kind of have to, so you told the attribute, but then you got to really spell out the benefit to me, the agent.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then I think you said something like, if you want to come by the office. Well, I
Yeah.
haven't got time for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was a little bit
Yeah, it was a
presumptuous.
little wonky. All right.
Yeah. So the idea being, you know, can we meet for coffee in the morning? If you can't get that, then do you have time for maybe a 20-minute Zoom call? And if they don't have that, say, well, can I call you tomorrow afternoon and give you more of the details? You know, I mean, you
Like a
just try and
follow-up
get what
call.
you can
Okay.
get. And if you can't get anything, then you just, you know, leave them with a little positive something or other. Well,
Gotcha.
keep that program in mind. It could really help you out. Talk to you later.
Right.
You know,
Gotcha. So spell it out for them. Try to follow up with them, like coffee and all that. Don't really try to invite them to the office because they ain't got time to come in anyway. You know, so
yeah.
kinda
And I mean,
make it-
and listen, this stuff is hard. Calling,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
people up and setting up, that's hard. It's, it takes a lot of practice. So Lauren, we're gonna give you a shot. So Michael, now you get to turn the tables. You get to be the agent. And you remember that last agent who was busy, it didn't have time for you?
Yeah.
So you can be like that. Now you can be like, I'm busy. Okay. So
Okay.
Lauren's gonna call you. Let's see what she's got up her sleeve.
Oh, God. Look, I just want to say, Michael, you did a really good job, especially
Oh,
for your first
buttering
one.
you up, buttering you
Because
up.
Steven he's a difficult one to sell.
I'm the worst at role play too, so let's do this thing. All right.
Okay, ring, ring.
Hey, this is Michael.
Hi, Michael. This is Lauren Akins with Van Dyke Mortgage. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm great. So I got your name from Steven Katz. He said that you all just closed a deal together and that you were amazing to work with. And I like to work with amazing people. So I was wondering if you had just a minute to talk about a new program that we have.
Actually, I'm getting ready to go meet with a buyer right now to do a consultation with him. So I really don't have any time right now to talk about it.
Great. Well, I really like busy people. So maybe going into your meeting, this would really help. I know that people ask you the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. And here at Van Dyke, we take that even a step further and we offer a TBD pre-approval, which basically is we can underwrite and get underwriting approval on the loan before you even have an address. So your offer is almost as good as cash going in. And I know in today's market, it's really rough to get offers accepted. So maybe in your meeting with your client, you could use that as the selling point to get them to use you, that you have a connection with somebody who could do that.
That sounds great, but I don't know if I have the, I don't know how to spell that out to them. That's something that, I think you guys should probably talk about with them. I don't have the time to, to take in more knowledge of that kind of stuff to just be able to talk to my buyers about that. So, maybe you want to set something up with him.
Well, I would be more than happy to work with your client. That would be great if you wanted to, if they decide to work with you, if you want to send them my number and my information, I would be happy to spell it out and give them everything that they need and then copy you on that email so I can help educate you as well.
Right. So I think they're already working with a lender, but maybe in the future, if I get somebody, I can give them your name. But right now, I don't have time to talk to them about their loan, loan programs and stuff like that you guys might offer. So, I mean, I don't know how this can help, but maybe in the future I can give you somebody. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I would be more than happy to send you some information in your email so that you can, keep me in the back of your mind. If it ever comes up that you are looking for a lender who can offer something like that.
Okay.
Do you have any time to meet in person and let me buy you a coffee and see what I can do to help grow your business?
Maybe I'll have to check my schedule. And if you send me an email when I find all that out, I will respond to that and let you know when a good time would be, or have somebody, that works with me on my team. Maybe they can set something up. But right now I really have to go into this meeting. So.
Okay, that's fine. I understand. You enjoy your meeting. I will follow up with you next week and I'll send you an email with all of that information. Thanks, Michael.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, that was good. So Michael was a tough customer.
Oh,
So you started out. Well, no, but I think it was realistic. But you were a tough customer. You were.
Look, I have yet to have an agent phone call that goes seamlessly.
Well, I had one that I called up and they were like, I'm well versed in mortgage lending. I'm gonna have to go now because I'm spending time with somebody. And I was like, okay, thanks. Just like that was it,
So, but hold on, I want to talk about that call specifically. So there were a lot of good things about that. So you had the third party introduction. You had the fact that Lauren respected you in your schedule, but at the same time, engaged for just a minute. You got out your one thing, which was the TBD. You mentioned that it would help put the offer on par with an all cash offer. But then Michael was really stubborn and he wouldn't really accept that. So, I mean, you could circle back and say something like, it's going to help you get, more offers accepted, or it's going to help you do more deals, Michael. Just to ram it home because he wasn't really quite being responsive to that. But overall, I mean, you did really well and you just pushed it, I think, about as far as you could go without crossing the line of being obnoxious.
Mhm.
So, what do you think, Michael?
I think she did great. It was really hard to say no. So like, I
That's
mean,
it.
it was,
Hard
yeah, it
to
was
say
hard to like, not ask more questions about what she was talking about. Like, I really wanted to, you know what I mean? But it was like, I knew I had to be kind of stubborn and be like, oh man, I really don't have time. I'm pretty busy. You know what I mean? So it was good. She did good.
So if there are any other loan officers in your office, Michael, or I know that, this is like nails on a chalkboard, but just practicing, taking what I did is I came up with different personalities and you put, you kind of mix index cards and you mix them up. And then the one guy's easy, the one guy's stubborn, the one guy's, in a hurry, and you just take on those personalities and just practice. So yeah, it works the other way. Sometimes I give the agent, the loan officers the personality of being easy, and the person doesn't ever, just keeps talking and doesn't ever actually ask for the appointment. So I know it's rare, but if you do get somebody that's open, go ahead and, sum it up and say, okay, well, I don't want to take any more of your time. Can we set something up for Wednesday at the Starbucks or something? So anyway, but yeah, so that just comes with practice. I think you did really well, and I hope that you learned a little something. So we are ready to wrap up. And do you have any other questions or anything you want to talk about?
Well, look, Joyce we were gonna do a little something, but since there's nobody else on this call, I just want to say, oh no, it says
I
happy
see it.
birthday,
I see
Stephen.
Lauren, you ready?
Hey.
Yep. Happy
ready?
birthday
Oh,
to
Lord.
you.
Oh God, I gotta edit this out.
Birthday to-
All right, I get it. Thank you very much. It's very kind. It's my birthday today. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So,
Yep, I'm sure.
all right. Talk to you later, guys.
And
Happy
don't forget to check your flower pot, Stephen.
I'm
'cause
going
it's hot
right
out
now.
there,
Going
so you
right
grab
now.
it. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, Stephen, are we still meeting, or did you tell me what you needed to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's end this call.